Hello and welcome students for Vijetha IAS Academy ethics classes. We are dealing with case studies. We are going to deal with case study number 26. What is this case study? It is a case related to complex procedures. When you are a civil servant, you will come across various issues. Sometimes the procedures themselves become complex and how to handle it. When multiple stakeholders are involved and you will feel some ethical dilemmas while taking the decisions. These are the various issues. We are about to finish. If you are a civil servant, what kind of cases you are going to handle. So, these are various types of cases. Let me read the case study, then you will get an idea. You are appointed as an officer heading the section in Environment Pollution Control Board to ensure compliance and its follow-up. In that region, there were large number of small and medium industries which had been granted clearance. Small and medium industries. Let me write here. Small and medium industries. Suppose in a particular region, the moment it has some industrial activity. Imagine India map. It becomes easy. If you imagine India map, then you can easily understand what kind of stakeholders are involved here. Say like India. Let me draw once again. Now, suppose there is an industry here, small and medium industry. Small and medium scale industries. And the moment these industries are there, surrounding area will develop automatically. Small and medium, and so many families will help. It will help so many families. It provide employment directly to some and indirectly to some other people. Employment will come. If it is industry, means ancillary industries also, other industries also will develop. Other industries also. Now it will have cascading effect. Already if small and medium industries are there, chances are there big industries also will come in future. So overall, it is going in the right direction. Now what is the issue here? But you are section in Environment Pollution Control Board. This is the issue. Pollution may happen, you are officer to control pollution. You learned that these industries provide employment to many migrant workers also. Not only that, even migrant workers also it is providing. Most of the industrial units have got environmental clearance certificate in their possession. The environmental clearance seeks to curb industries and projects that supposedly hamper environment and living species in the region. But in the practice, most of these units remain to be polluting units in several ways like air, water, soil pollution. As such, local people encountered persistent health problems. Persistent health problems. It is providing employment, some income also, some better livelihood. But what about the indirect effects? These are the positives. And when it comes to negatives, pollution, air pollution, water pollution, land pollution. As a result, health issues are emerging. Now you observe this. whatever benefits, say like some X amount is getting generated because of this. X amount is entering into the hands of people directly, indirectly. But here, more than this amount they are wasting or they have to spend on healthcare. On top of it, they are losing money also, at the same time losing health, and health is very, very crucial for decent standard of life, and they are losing the standard of life. So decent standard of life with a healthy environment, with a healthy lifestyle is missing. This is how. But when it comes to clearance, they got clearance certificates. They already got clearance certificate, small and medium scale running, but they are polluting. At the same time, they are providing employment also. Now you are Pollution Control Board in charge. Now you are coming across this issue. What is going to happen now? It was confirmed that majority of the industries were violating environmental compliance. Initially, they got compliance certificate. Now in your study, you are identifying that many are not able to fall under the environmental clearance category. You issued notice to all the industrial units to apply for fresh environmental clearance certificate from the competent authority. However, your action met with a hostile response from a section of industrial unit, other vested interest persons and sections of local politicians. So now it is a big dilemma. If you don't, you are trying to act in the interest of people, but now the same people will face trouble also if it affects their employment immediately. So you wanted fresh clearance certificate, because when they have got the clearance certificate, the norms may be different, the environmental conditions also might be different, because before industrial revolution environment was very clean. And if you start one coal industry, when you start mining industry, it will not affect the environment the way it is affecting today, because that time larger scale, larger number of forest, hilly areas, water, everything were clean considerably in comparison with today. That's why the government norms also according to that particular environmental cleanliness they issue. As the environment deteriorates, and the compliance restrictions also will be increased. Suppose it is pure and it is polluted, and when you want industrial license, the norms which are required here at this point, when environment is pure, here you require less number of norms, but as the pollution is increasing, now you require more norms to be followed, because otherwise we cannot control the environment. That's why if environment is polluting means the number of norms also will increase. Initially these small and medium scale might have got clearance certificate. Let us assume that they did not have there is no any kind of corruption. They simply filed a certificate and they got the permission. Even if we give benefit of doubt to the small and medium scale industries. But as pollution increases, government also will increase the norms, and as a result, many of them are not following the existing norms, or whatever norms they are supposed to follow as per the initial norms, they are also not followed. When you got this post, you are identifying these issues. Now you issued all the small and medium scale industries that you apply for the fresh. Now the moment you ask, there is a protest. Naturally, many people are involved, employees are involved, their families are involved, local indirectly employed people are also involved. Now politicians are also involved means there is some kind of political connectivity also is going on here. Industry and business connection is going on, because these industries might be funding the local political parties as well. The workers also became very hostile to you, as they felt that your action would lead to the closure of these industrial units, and the resultant unemployment will lead to insecurity and uncertainty in their livelihood. genuine cause. When you suddenly make it, then it affects the employees also. So owners also getting affected, and the politicians also getting affected, workers also getting affected. Many owners of the industries approached you with the plea that you should not initiate harsh action as it would compel them to close their units and cause huge financial loss, shortage of their products in the market. These would obviously add to the suffering of the laborers and consumers alike. Let us try to make different stakeholders here. Industries. When it comes to industries, owners, workers, consumers. Now, families, and these may include even banks also. Financial institutions, they get the loan and sometimes they start financial losses. So, financial institutions, consumers, and also the other industries who needed inputs from these industries also. Many owners met you and they told it will affect everybody, the chain. The labor unions also sent you representation requesting against the closure of the unit. You simultaneously started receiving threats from unknown corners also. One side requests are coming, another side threats are also coming to you. You, however, received supports from some of your colleagues who advised you to act freely to ensure environmental compliance. Local NGOs also came to your support. They demanded the closure of the polluting units immediately. Your colleagues in your office, colleagues and NGOs, they are supporting you. Colleagues are supporting and NGOs are supporting. Local NGOs and colleagues. Next, what are the options available to you under the given situation? Critically examine the options listed by you. What type of mechanism would you suggest to ensure environmental compliance? What are the ethical dilemmas you faced in exercising your option? Clear? Now, on one hand, livelihood of many people on one hand, and also pollution is on one hand. But ultimately, whether you are working in favor of the people or whether you are working in favor of people at large, or are you working in favor of the one section of the people who are already getting benefits? Already some people are getting benefit, but this benefit is being offset by the kind of pollution they are making. It will affect all the families and these people also if once pollution is increasing. At the same time, those people who are not depending on these industries are also paying the price for polluting this environment. What are the options before you? Now, it is a democratic country. Always keep in mind, you are a bureaucrat. You are in bureaucracy. Our country is a democratic country. Democracy. Democracy means people, politicians, and that is how our system is running. You should not be dictator or autocrat, authoritarian. Even though your decision is good for the larger sections of the people, but it should not appear to be like this. It should not appear to be authoritarian, autocrat or dictator. And from your point of view, you are only following rule of law. Rule of law. Law says compliance should be there. You are asking these industries to file this complaints freshly. If they are not complying this, then if they are not having the compliance as per the existing law, then you have every right and you have the authority, power. You have authority as per law, power to take action. But when you are taking this action, it may affect some section of the people, it may affect some section of politicians. That's why local politicians are also involved. This is how, when it comes to India, these are the realities, and that's why since independence, so many issues are still pending. In 1947, our goal was to remove poverty. Still that goal is even today also our goal is to remove poverty. In 1947, our goal was to remove illiteracy, and today also same goal. Whatever goal set 75, 76 years ago, still we are still pursuing to meet those goals. One of the reasons is this one, because we don't want to be dictator or autocratic in nature. We have to go by democratic tradition. So similarly, now in this case, you have to handle the situation how you are going to handle. One is strictly following, one option is strictly following the laws. It doesn't matter whoever. Now the people, definitely they will go for protest. If you don't listen to them, they will start protest, and you will bring law enforcement agencies, police will come, and it will create law and order issue. Law and order issue. That should not be taken care like that. You have the power and authority to close all the units which are not complying. But it doesn't mean you are going to create another trouble like this. Then it will create, then politically it become charged, and it will create multiple cascading effects. That's why it has to be dealt very smoothly. It has to be dealt with very smoothly, because you have to convince that ultimately it is going to benefit the people only by following compliance. If they are not able to follow the compliance, ultimately it will destroy the people's lives only. That's why you have to convince the people. What are the options before you? Let me write one by one. Options available. Enforce strict action. Number 1. Enforce strict action. You do not worry about employees also, you will not worry about trade unions also, you will not worry about owners also, you will not worry about anything. Just you strictly go by that. But it may have repercussions. Advantage is you can close the polluting units, it will help the environment. In the long run, it will benefit the people. But it also creates, now if the people become unemployed, where will they go? It will increase unemployment, and it will disturb the market. The entire, the production and consumer cycle, production to consumer cycle will get disturbed. And also, if suddenly earlier they got the compliance, now if they are not giving compliance, that means the business environment disturbed. Then trust on government reduces. Then ease of doing business becomes difficult. Ease of doing business become difficult. And if ease of doing business become difficult, new industries will not come, because new people will not dare to invest. Again, when you are starting an industry, you will get employment, you will get certificate, and after some time your certificate will be removed. That's why there is a problem. In future, new industries will not come to this area. Many migrant people are also there, now they become unemployed, and this entire region becomes unemployed. Once it becomes unemployed, it will lead to law and order trouble. There are issues like law and order trouble, like thieves, robberies, Naxalism problem, terrorism problem. These are the consequences. Drug related issues, criminal activities, they will all increase. All of a sudden, if you take like this, and this decision is going to happen, have these kind of consequences. So dangers are there, and that is where as a civil servant you have to understand a holistic picture, that what if a particular decision is taken immediately strictly like this, and what is the kind of impact on this in the society. Your ultimate objective is good, but the way it has to be dealt also needs to be very sensitive in nature. Next one, engage in dialogue. Second one, engage in dialogue with stakeholders. First you have meetings, because this kind of problem has to be dealt very sensitively. And first meetings with industrial owners, then trade unions, because already you are getting threats also. That's why you have to first have meetings, what is their problem and how they are. Once you have a meeting with them, then you will get an alternative. They may propose some alternatives also. They may ask some time also. They may propose certain alternative also. They may look for alternative employment opportunities also. Gradual shift will take place. Engage in dialogue. Possibility of cooperation, and once you cooperate, then this kind of problems will not arise. Law enforcement, law and order problem, then disturbing, unemployment, all of a sudden, definitely it requires a change. Every society requires a change. 1000 years ago, how people were behaving, they were not behaving the similar way 500 years ago. Whatever way they were behaving, today we are not behaving in the same way. Similarly, after 100 years ago, after 100 years, people will change. But all of a sudden, if you try to change everything, then it will create disturbances, and all of a sudden, society cannot observe those immediate changes. That's why there needs to be a buffer in the transition from one phase to the other phase. Earlier, environmental consciousness was not that great when poverty was very big, very high. Then having some kind of industry itself is a big success. That's why whether coal industries are polluting a lot of environment, still they were allowed, because power is required, energy is required, transportation facilities are required, industries are required, so that it will employment generation, technology will progress, then only the life of the quality of the life will increase. And all of a sudden now the environmental consciousness is growing, it doesn't mean all of a sudden we will change everything in one go. Even in international relations also, the negotiations will go on slowly. All of a sudden they will not impose everything on countries. There needs to be a time, and buffer time should be given, alternative possibility should be given, funds should be given, technological upgradation should be there, and technical assistance also should be there, training is required. So many issues are involved, and all these should be in place. Then that a smooth transition takes place. People also will feel gradual transition better. People also feel that they are not getting injustice all of a sudden. No doubt it has to be changed, but that change has to come in an evolutionary manner rather than revolutionary in sense. But what about the compliance? That is completely illegal, and that is where there will be some kind of provisions even to solve that also. There will be emergency provisions, there will be certain provisions which will give some time. Even the people who are not filing tax continuously, who are evading tax also, sometimes the parliament and government will give a chance to such people also. Certain period will come. Government and parliament will give certain buffer period so that all those defaulters can comply everything. Once the compliance is done, then they will become very fresh. All of a sudden it cannot be done, because we are a democratic country. It will lead to law and order issue. Once you enter into dialogue process, you will come to know that the real problems, and you will explain that what are the possible dangers in the long run, when trade unions and workers will come and tell you, then you will identify what are the various health problems in their own families also, in their surroundings also, in their villages also. Then gradually it will give, like you are thinking about environment, the trade unions and employees also will start thinking about how to handle this dilemma. And it is a reality that in their own families themselves, somebody might be suffering from the illness because of this pollution. And one person may be breadwinner, but other people are maybe suffering in the home, and most of the money might be going for hospital expenditure. That's how it will generate awareness also when consultation is done, when meetings are held, dialogue process is done. And when it comes to negatives, limitations, it may take some time. It's not that all of a sudden everything, all of a sudden people will not accept, people will not understand, unless you provide alternative to them, and people will not readily go. That's why it is a long time, long term, not necessary that they will listen, not necessary that they will listen. And willingness and commitment from both industrial owners, trade unions and other politicians also required. Otherwise, politicians or other anti-social elements, those who are getting affected because of closure, they will try to threaten you, they will try to create law and order trouble, and they will create a new trouble. So that government will decide that instead of having a new law and order trouble, better to continue this as it is, status quo maintenance. And if status quo is maintained, same industries are polluting the environment. After some time, for some time temporarily this law and order problem can be kept under control, but after 5 years, after 10 years, and this will become a very major polluting area. Now the same people will start protesting that you close these industries. Already we have seen one case study also, that the same people today, in this case, they are asking to keep the industries, but after 5 years or 10 years, when entire crops destroyed, and it's not that health, animals, health, crops, people, then everywhere pollution will enter. Now if every area getting polluted, now the people themselves will start protesting that to close these industries. That becomes another law and order. Now that time, government may think that it would have been done, because this time it might be small one, and at that time when everybody, every village, every region, entire district, if they protest, then it become even much bigger danger. That's how you have to see this. When the issue is a smaller one, and you try to visualize, if you do not solve at this level, how it is going to create long-term consequences. There will be certain negatives, but dialogue process is one of the important options. Next, seek support from higher authorities or government agencies to address the issue effectively. And now you will say that it is not under your control directly. You seek advice from superior authorities or at the higher level of the government, so that now you are passing the burden to next department. So seek support from higher authorities or government agencies to address the issue effectively. Positive is provide leverage, resources. Now once you bring superiors and higher level, they will advise some kind of mechanism, they will suggest. Some financial resources also they may provide to solve this issue, and they may help you to include other relevant departments, which can help, so that you can cooperate with other departments also to diffuse the problem. Financial resource may come, expertise ideas will come, and also other people, human resource also, financial resource also, idea resources also will come to you. Those are the provide leverage and resources to tackle non-compliance more effectively, Higher authorities can enforce stricter regulation, penalties, can help overcome bureaucratic challenge and delays. And when it comes to negative, many involved bureaucratic process and delays may involve delays in obtaining the support. Reliance on higher authorities may limit individual decision-making power. Higher authorities may have competing priorities and limited resources. Both dangers are there. You may expect more human resource, more financial resource and better ideas to solve the crisis. But they might be having so many other priorities and they may not give that kind of importance, or financial resource might not be available, human resource not be available, and they may postpone the issue, or they may take decision that too strict, just they may give you direction, you simply follow the procedure whatever is there. Why they will take unnecessary tension if they don't want to take any kind of burden, and they will just demand you, or they will just instruct you to go by the law, and ultimately the ball comes to your court only to solve the issue once again. So that is how the problem is there. Next, somebody you are getting support from your own colleagues, people are you are getting support from NGOs, also you are getting support. The fourth one, use NGOs and supporters to generate awareness, educate people, awareness about pollution, educate people about pollution. And there is a chance that gradually people may try to understand what kind of dangers are there in future. And these NGOs may help them. They can show that, like some case studies, like some regions which were having this kind of industries which are polluting the area, what happened to those regions. They can show some countries examples also. What happened earlier when they were doing great, when industrial revolution was going on, and after some time what happened to them. And you can show some of the examples of island countries, what is happening, with reports, with videos, with images, and what kind of healthcare dangers are there in future. They are getting employment, no doubt, but in the long run, what kind of dangers are ahead. And if you generate, and why government also wants to make more compliance, because in future it is going to create a lot of danger. And if people also know that such kind of dangers are ahead, then gradually they also will change gradually. That's why, so strengthen community engagement. NGOs can have some resources and they may provide, create a collective effort towards environmental sustainability. Negative is, building consensus and cooperation among stakeholders may require time and effort. It requires a lot of time. Dependence on NGOs and community support may vary based on the availability and capacity. Not that all NGOs will do. They also require financial support. They also require human resource support. And from where they also will get. They will do in their own pace. But they will not do the kind of government machinery is working. You are part of government. If yourself is not able to solve this, then how can NGOs can solve it with their limited resources? It has to be collaborative approach. Whatever government from your side you have to do, at the same time what NGOs. You cannot completely rely on them as well, because they also have limitations. Sustaining collaboration and engagement can be challenging. Next, another option, implement a phased approach, giving industrial units a specific time frame to improve their practices gradually. Phased approach. Fifth one, gradual approach. In India, revolution cannot change all of a sudden, because so many people, so many ideas, so many regions and so many mindsets will be there. People have different sufferings, people have different priorities, and people behave differently. All of a sudden, if you want to bring change, if you try to bring that change, immediately reaction will come in the form of a law and order problem. That's why gradual approach. Many times, whether it is tax compliance, environmental compliance, industrial compliance, government will not create trouble for the industries. Given the industries, they are creating employment. And if you suddenly close it, you have to show the alternative employment. And if you want to show alternative employment, again you have to create the industries. What is the guarantee that those industries will not pollute again? And again this same problem will continue. In the name of protecting environment, if you do not develop, then it will create long-term trouble. No doubt environment is important. That is called sustainable development. So we need sustainable. And it requires a gradual approach. Sudden we should not impose certain areas and give time frame for the compliance. Meetings with them, consulting with them, have collaboration with them and help them and give them time to change, because they also know how dangers are there. And in the long run, if people are affected because of the pollution, if their healthcare problems are increasing, their quality of life decreases, then people will not have even, their savings will go for healthcare only, and they will not have money in their hand to even to produce the consumers. Consumers will not have money, and if the consumers will not have money, then where the products which are produced by industries, where will they sell? If economy itself collapse because of majority of the people are not having savings to purchase products, then entire economy will collapse. Inflation will increase, food prices will increase, majority of the savings will go for essential elements, and these industrial products may not be purchased by the people. As a result, entire system itself will collapse in the long run, and that is what even industrialists also will understand, even the industrial owners also will understand that, but give some time frame. Allow industrial units to make necessary changes without immediate economic disruptions. Provide time for the workers and owners also to adjust to the new realities. Allow for monitoring and evaluation of the progress during phased implementation. Negative is progress may be slow, require continuous and monitoring. Critics may argue that gradual improvement do not adequately address environmental problem. These are the limitations. Next one, mechanism to ensure environmental compliance. So what is the issue? Now we have seen so many options here. What are the options available to under given situation? Strict implementation, collaboration with them, gradual approach, consulting your superiors, asking their help, and so on. Critically examine the options listed by you. We have analyzed positives and negatives. What type of mechanism would you suggest to ensure environmental compliance? Mechanism to ensure, and some of them. First, you need to have, if you want to bring any kind of change, any kind of mechanism, you need a team, human resources, financial resources, human and financial resources, and new innovative ideas. When you have certain resource with you, when you have people with you, and when you collaborate, new ideas will come and a new approach will come. And now what kind of mechanism? Establish a system, robust system, and regularly assess, create a team, create a system, and give the team responsibility to regularly monitor the case. All of a sudden it cannot be changed, and that's what any change will come very slowly, but you have to take in the right direction. That taking people in the right direction requires a proper mechanism. That mechanism and monitoring system you are going to create. Conduct regular inspections. So once this system is in place, then conduct regular inspections. First, you consult the industries, consult the industrial owners, consult the trade unions, consult whoever stakeholders are involved in that, the NGOs also. Now, you inspect give inspections regularly, create a team, they will have continuous monitoring, take the reports regularly, what kind of problems they are facing and how the improvement is going on. You have given the time frame, giving time frame is one of the best solution, and if you give time frame, in that time frame manner are they complying or not, ensure that regular inspections you conduct, then provide necessary training for the people how to ensure the compliance also, and ensure training to the people, the stakeholders who are involved in that. So provide necessary training awareness program to industrial unit owners and the employees also. Implement strict penalties if somebody is violating even after giving chance and after putting all these systems in place. If still somebody is violating, strict penalties. So first people must be given chance, people must be given time, and also give them in advance the warning or the strict penalties information also provide them, so that they will have some kind of idea what is going to happen if they do not pay respect or attention to the compliances. Then encourage, adopt sustainable and eco-friendly. You ensure them these industries with the help of financial industries or units, banks. You encourage the industrial owners to utilize the schemes which are related to environmental friendly schemes. Encourage them, ensure them they will change from polluting industrial systems to eco-friendly machines, so that once they change it, then people also will adapt to the new machines, and these new machines can once again give the eco-friendly output, eco-friendly products. So ultimately here we have to ensure less pollution. Aim here is not to close down the industries, aim is to reduce the pollution. If we think in that direction, how to reduce pollution, then use the same units and change the mechanism, production mechanism in such a way that it becomes environmental friendly. So in that sense we can use. And when it comes to next point, ethical dilemmas, what is the next question? What are the ethical dilemmas you faced in exercising your option? Ethical dilemmas, so we have seen in the beginning itself that on one hand people employment opportunities, their livelihood and their families are surviving, many people are surviving. Livelihood issue versus unemployment, migrants are also involved and where they go, human rights, dignified life, right to livelihood, these are the issues involved in one hand. But on the other hand, environmental problem, again the larger sections of the people are there who are suffering from healthcare problems, who are suffering from pollution. Gradually the pollution level will increase and the dangers of the people also will increase. So balancing environmental protection on one hand and economic development on the other hand. Dealing with resistance and hostility on one hand. So on one hand people are resisting, on the other hand how to change their mindset. So development you have to take care, the dilemmas. Dilemmas are on one hand development. Without development, employment will not provide, livelihood will not be there, versus environmental pollution. Second one, you are trying to change this, and if you bring the people on one hand resistance, they will not change immediately, versus the attitude change. Attitude change. So here remember the syllabus: human values, ethical values, dignified life, healthy life, these are all human values, ethical values. And attitude of the people must be changed, and you have to understand the attitude of the other people. Emotional intelligence is also required. Understand the emotions of the people, and also you have to change the emotions of the people in changing attitude towards other environmental problems as well. Then ensuring fairness and equal treatment to all stakeholders while upholding environmental legislation. And on one hand, justice to few versus justice to all. If you close down immediately, it is injustice to some people. But if you close down, it is justice to all. And if you do not close down, it is justice to few, but injustice to all. So that issue, another ethical issue. And long-term environment sustainability versus immediate concern. Immediate versus long-term. So immediately, how you want. If you think immediately, if it is going to create certain problem, means if you remain silent, but there will be long-term consequence. So these are various ethical dilemmas. So these are, in such kind of situations, when complex procedures are involved, compliance is given initially, but after some time, now the pollution is increasing. Once again, when new compliance procedure comes, then people may resist. But that change is definitely important, but that change should not be immediate, it should be gradual. But meanwhile, it's not that you give time and you will leave that matter. You have to create a system to ensure that people will slowly comply all the essential compliance methods, procedures. These are such kind of case study can be solved in this way. Whenever in India, any kind of situation comes, always consultation, collaboration, democratic attitude is very important. Once you include the people, then people will give many solutions and identify the sustainable solution and implement them in gradual and phased manner. So this can be solved in this way. Thank you very much.